All the content contained in this webcast is for informational purposes only. The investments and strategies contained in this webcast may not be suitable for you. Please consult your own independent financial advisor before making any investment or trading decisions. Well, Dennis, I guess we'll just talk about the financials here after that monster run yesterday. How about Citigroup?
Monster run yesterday for Citi, breaking out over that 35 resistance area that we had talked about. Everything looking bullish, comes out after the bell, stress test results, and they fail one section. Stock immediately gets killed down all the way to 34 bucks. Had bounced back then, but now it's starting to settle in this 35 area where the old resistance was. So I think that area is going to come into play. I'd use that 35 number for my swing number. I'm even seeing some institutional size form there now. So 35 looks big to me here, Joel.
We'll just get a good perspective on this stock. 34.87 was yesterday's low, and that's the area that we're trading at. The spike in the pre-market, though, did take it down to 33.75. Don't think we're going to see that level today. I would still use this 34.75. It was yesterday's low. I would use that as a swing number. So far, the rebound off the high has been at the 35.50 area. So I'd look for a 35.50 choppy, crazy range here early in the session. And if it could establish itself one way north of 35.5 or below 34.75 should be our direction for the day. I'm sure you got a lot of people caught long in this, and they're scratching their heads trying to figure out what to do. So I don't see us ripping back up to 36.5.
No, I don't think we're ripping back up at all. I think we're going to have resistance all over the place when you start getting 35 and above now. MET was another one, Joel, that failed a section of the stress test. They really took it offensively too. They came out after saying you shouldn't, to the Fed, basically saying that they shouldn't be valued as a bank. They're an insurance company and they need different metrics over there. So they were very offended by that one section that they had failed in the stress test. But nonetheless, the stock actually traded down to the 36.5 area on the results. So down $3 when that news initially came out. Popped after MET came out defending themselves and is now selling this 38.11 area. Yesterday's low here, which is 38.02. I think that whole 38 area might give you some initial support. What do you think on MET, Joel?
Yeah, I see the spike on the pre-market low at 36.81. So that will be a target on the downside. You're right, Dennis. It's really trading within yesterday's range. 38.02 was yesterday's low. We're really consolidating right here around the 38 level. I have to agree with them, but I'm not the Fed. I'd use 38. And the pre-market resistance is coming in at the 38.60 level.
SunTrust, which is STI, was the third one that failed the one section of the stress test. It's trading down almost $1 right now. 22.58 is where it closed. It's trading 21.77 right now. Funny, yesterday's low here, right in the same area here, Joel, 21.70. So these yesterday's lows are coming into play on a few of these stocks.
Right. I think 21.65 was actually the previous day's low, and 21.70. I think you have to use that area as your swing numbers. You do have a pre-market 105, and that coincides with excellent support from for the end of the month at 20.89 or the beginning of February. So keep a close eye. If we can't hold this $21.70 level, got major support at 21. And after making the pre-market low, we did get a pop up to 22. But as of late, we are running into a lot of problems here at the 21.75 to 21.80 level, right where it stands right now.
Cleveland Cliffs, which is, it's Cliff Natural Resources, they call it now. My old name was Cleveland Cliffs. CLF is a symbol on that one. Stock trading 67.65 after closing 64.91. They came out after the bell, over doubling their dividend. So big dividend increase for Cliff. The market obviously loves dividends, so the stock is getting a nice lift off that. What do you got for pre-market high on that, Joel?
For Cleveland Cliffs, let's see here. I have a pre-market high. Wow, that's the 68 68.80.
68.80. Wow. So yeah, it's had quite a run up here. If we go back, actually, there was a 68.86 high here, right in just towards the end of February. There, I'm pointing it out on the chart. So maybe, and even before that, there was a couple other spotty highs of 68.93 and 69.12. So that whole 69 area might come into play for some resistance. Obviously, any types of pullbacks here are probably going to be bought. So expect some good support all the way down to the 65 area.
Yeah, they got the breakout off the 65, Dennis. There was 3 highs in that area. Unfortunately, you don't get to play that during the day session. You have to be a patient long and wait for it to come back down there. Doesn't look like it's going to do it today. Just a word of caution here. There's been a lot of consolidation in lows at 67. So if this thing does go in a little bit of a sell-off mode, 67 is minor support. But below that, there's not a lot until the old triple top at 65.
All these financials are moving all over the place. JP Morgan continuing higher after its huge run there yesterday. Stock is trading 43.70 after closing at 43.39, so getting a further lift. Stock's breaking out here, so you just got to be careful when you're shorting stocks that are making new highs like this. What do you think on JP Morgan, Joel?
Yeah, we had talked about yesterday that 4170 area, which had held up for a long time. There was really a lot of, I remember mentioning in the show, there wasn't much up until 43. Well, it's trading well over that level. As far as JP Morgan goes, I mean, I don't see major resistance until the $45 level. Keep a close eye on yesterday's range. 43.73 was the high. I expect things to thicken up from 43.75 up to 44, a nice round number like that. So that's the big run. Looking at the pre-market high, 43.73 coincides with that as well.
Regions Financial, another one with decent stress test results, trading up 604. It's trading right now after closing 577. The symbol RF on that one. The 50 or the high here of the move was 608. So it looks like that's going to test that area. It's testing it in the pre-market. It looks like it'll probably test in the regular session. I'd use this whole $6 area as my swing number. What do you think on RF?
Yeah, boy, $6. If it can hold, if it can get out, it's still trading. That's a pretty big move here for a $6 stock. But if it holds the $6 level, Dennis, you have to go a little bit to the longer term charts here. There's really no major resistance in this thing to 653, which was the high back. Well, actually, you had a high at 624 in August of last year and another high at 653. So those would be 2 targets on the upside to expect some resistance.
LSI Corporation raised their guidance here as well. Stock is trading 888 right now after closing at 854. So we're breaking out to new 52-week high on this one too, Joel. 875 was putting a lid on it. There is some institutional size there still that's going to become active at the open. So if it can open over that 875 area, the stock could possibly be in breakout mode. But you never know. Funny things happen. We're still 45 minutes from the open. So if it opened below 875, that area would provide some resistance.
This 875 is huge, Dennis. It's been the high so far last month. It was the high in the previous month. If in fact it could hold 875, I do see some minor resistance here at the $9 level, 908. But below that, it really, really opens up. So, here's a little stock, no one's paying a whole lot of attention to. But if it can hold 875, could be making a nice run today.
Well, your financials are obviously going to be your driver here again. All out those stress test results. Some are up, some are down. Citigroup really taking it on the chin. So that's definitely a stock going to be one of the weaker ones. That's your drivers for today. Obviously, Morgan Stanley with a crazy Apple upgrade here after a 200-point move, but it just keeps going higher. So 600 looking like it could come into play for Apple. Joel, any closing thoughts?
Yeah, just looking at this Bank America here. I know it was quite a while when Warren made the announcement that he decided to buy Bank America when he was sitting in his bathtub. But the pre-market high and the high that day was 880.
880.
And yep. 880. So and after Warren's announcement, that stock traded dollar level where people really came in and supported that stock, so it would not fall under $5. And now we're back up at this 880 level. So 880, nice round number at $9. Major, major, major resistance here in Bank America. If in fact it can finally clear that level, perhaps could migrate back to $10, which is a level it has not seen since August of last year. S&P is just kind of hanging out mid-range, Dennis. Keep an eye on yesterday's high, 91 and a quarter, up to the Globex high to see if this momentum can continue.
So that's our show for today, and we will be back with you guys tomorrow.